Okay, for the longest time, a lot of traders would ask me, hey Kemal, what do you think was the determining factor of you becoming profitable? And for a long time I said, well, I don't know. I think it's just a conglomerate of things. And don't get me wrong, it is. But this is the thing. The more I've been thinking, the more I've understood that there are certain things that made me way more profitable than anything else. For example, let me start this video with a hot take. I don't think backtesting is that worth it anymore. I don't think backtesting is worth it because there is so many profitable strategies out there that everything and so much free content out there with profitable strategies that at the end of the day, the only thing that is missing is you executing on those strategies for a long enough period of time. And a lot of people don't do that. Keep that in mind. Because you might say, oh yeah, this person told me this, but it didn't work out. Well, guess what? I can give you my strategy. I've done that. And I've been on a very good streak over the last months. Like calling everything, doing the live streams, profiting on live streams, profiting on the Discord. But I always tell the people that are listening to what I say, listen, don't praise me for the winning streak. Because I know that people that praise me for winning streaks are the people that would judge me for losing streaks. When in reality, a winning streak and a losing streak are the same exact thing as long as you stuck to the plan, stuck to the process, forecasted and executed, and stuck to risk management. Everything always ends up being the same thing. And so this already tells you a lot of what I want to talk about. But before that, look at this. This is beautiful. I am right now in Iceland. Let me turn this around a little bit. I am in Iceland right now. This is called the glacier tongue, which is funny. Before we go on to the next point, let me just say that on the 30th of September, I'm hosting a live webinar where I'm going to show you how you can get from where you're at right now to funded in just 90 days. And when you sign up, you will also get access to a private Telegram channel where I'm sharing every single day a market forecast. So yes, exactly what we were talking about right here. I am doing that on the Telegram. So I'll see you there. And so where this goes to is that I have a profitable edge. But I don't know if today, when I trade, which I am going to trade, I don't know if I'm going to take a win or a loss. But what do I know? I know that I am going to forecast exactly what I want to see the market doing, and I'm going to execute if the forecast plays out. Meaning, if the market does this and this and this, which is what I'm looking for, and then it reverses, I will execute, because that is exactly what I forecasted. And that is what has made me profitable for the longest time. Every single day, I have been forecasting what I think the market is going to do. And if the market does that thing, then I'm going to execute. Now you might say, well, Kemal, what if I take a loss? Let me tell you, taking a loss does not matter as long as you stuck to the forecast. And what I mean by that is that taking a loss, as long as you stuck to the forecast, does not matter at all. Because the comparison that I like to make is that every single time that you're doing your forecast, as long as you don't have any position running, most of the time it's going to be a very unemotional forecast. So, when you were unemotional, you said, I want to see this happen, and then I will execute. And then this happens, and you're afraid, oh, what if I now take a loss? But that's because you're involving your emotions. So, once you are able to detach yourself from the result and say, if my forecast plays out, I am executing, even if it is a loss. You are going to transcend unprofitability because you already know what you have to execute on. The only thing that now is missing is you executing on that same thing. And so you have to give yourself time and you have to give yourself the chance to lose. One of my most important quotes, I don't know who came up with it. I'm just going to say it was myself. One of my most important quotes is, if you forecast a position and you don't take it and it would have been a loss, it's a bigger loss than if you forecasted the position, you took it and it was a loss. So let's think about that exact quote again. If you forecast a position and you don't take it and you just saved yourself from a loss, meaning you forecasted, but you doubted your forecast, and because of that you avoided a loss. But what are you now creating? You just created the possibility of you not trusting your forecast. So you just did what you should never do. Because for me, as a trader, The one thing I have to trust the most is always my forecast. That's what I have to trust the most. Because I know that if I do what my unemotional self said that he was going to do, over the long term, I am going to be profitable. And that's where I want to get to. It's that if I had only one process for the rest of my trading, only one process, I could only do one more thing, it would be forecasting. I couldn't backtest, I couldn't even journal, I couldn't do anything. I would just stick to the process of forecasting. Because that is the one that is going to give you the most amount of returns. Because then, the only thing that will stand between you and profitability is obviously one, you having a profitable edge that you are forecasting on, and two, just executing on that edge for a long enough period of time and forecasting every day. And let me tell you, there's one thing. Trading, I did this for a long time. TradingView has a recording tool. If you go to the top right, you have like a publish trade idea, like a record video, where you can make private videos. And I'm telling you, that is the most powerful thing that you can do every single day. Before the session opens, before the session where you are going to execute on opens, you just record the video of you saying exactly what you want to see happening from the market and when you would execute. I've been doing that for probably 4 years, maybe 5. And guess what? After 3 years of profitability, I can pinpoint that as being the highest ROI process that you can do in trading. And that's what I recommend you doing every single day. Now, obviously, I'm going to go deeper into everything when I do the webinar. So if you guys haven't signed up yet, it's the first link in the description. It's going to be a webinar where the one goal is to get you funded in 90 days, right? Last quarter of the year, we want to get you funded in the last quarter of the year. We've had so many students being able to do that. That's what motivated me, is that we had so many students that got funded in 50, 20, 30 days. And I was like, oh, goddamn, I can teach someone to get funded in less than 90 days. And so if that is something that interests you, then just sign up with the first link in the description. And just keep in mind, the highest ROI thing that you can do right now is forecasting every day and executing on that exact forecast. That's basically the process that I'm doing the most right now as a trader, profitable trader. So with that, I'm going to enjoy the rest of Iceland. By the way, everyone that tells you that it's trading psychology, it's not. They're just probably not profitable. Peace.